Okay, so working on something new. We're going to see how this goes. Hopefully it works. Okay, so what we're dealing with here is a couple different things. So we have on this worksheet, it's point slope. What we need to do is change this from, on all of these, point slope, again, looks like this, y minus y1 equals m, that's my slope, times x minus x1. Make this a little bit smaller. And what all of our answers need to be in slope-intercept. So what we're going to do is try and find the equation of the line and then switch it back over. So let's look at number 6. So this is just the equation of the line through 2 points. So if we were to graph this, we'd have negative 12, 14 up here somewhere, 6, 1 right here, and then the line would go right there. Okay, so we'd be looking for the equation of that line in slope-intercept. Now that's nowhere near accurate or anything like that, so I'm just giving you an idea of what it is. So I figured out something new with this, the pen I have. I can actually flip it around, so I can write like hi, and then if I flip it around and use the back of it, it works as an eraser. I'm like excited about that for some reason. It's just neat. So anyway, point slope, we have 2 points, but we need slope. So we've been doing this all week. We're going to take those 2 points and use our slope formula of y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we're going to go slope equals negative 1 minus 14 over 6 minus a negative 12. So this turns into negative 15 over 6 plus 12, or negative 15 over 18. Now 15, negative 15, I'm going to rewrite that as negative 1 times 3 times 5. 18 is 3 times 6. Those 3's, 3 divided by 3 is 1. So this turns into negative 5, 6. Now we have 2 points here. And we can use those 2 points either one of them to get to point slope. Here, I'll show you. So if we take this point first, so point slope is y minus y1, y minus 14 equals a negative 5, 6 times x minus a negative 12. So that gives us y minus 14 equals negative 5, 6 times x plus 12. Y minus 14 equals negative 5, 6, x minus 10. Where did I get the negative 10? Well, I went negative 5 over 6 times 12. That turns into 12 over 1. When we multiply fractions, we multiply across. So that gives me negative 60 over 6, or negative 10. And then add 14 to both sides, back over here. I get my answer of y equals negative 5, 6, x plus 4. Now, let's say I'd use 6 and negative 1. That would be y minus a negative 1 equals negative 5, 6 times x minus 6. This would be y plus 1 equals, distribute that negative 5, 6. Negative 5, 6 times negative 6, for the same reason as we just did, ends up being a positive 5. Subtract 1 from both sides, and we get y equals negative 5, 6, x plus 4. So notice it doesn't matter if you do it here or if you do it here, you're going to end up with the same thing. Okay, moving on. So here it says give your answers, again, slope-intercept form. Now these need to be parallel. So what we do is we look at this line. So again, if I needed to show what it looked like, it would be erase all this stuff. It would be, here we have our graph 3x plus 6 would have an intercept of 6, and 3 is a pretty steep slope. So it'd be like that. Well, then we have this point over here, 4, 7, which has the same slope, which is parallel. So what we're doing is we're looking for this one right here. Okay, we're looking for the equation of that line. The only thing we know about it is it goes through this point and it has that slope. So we're going to go x1, y1, and we're going to put this into point slope because that's the information we have. So we go y minus 7 equals 3, that's my slope, times x minus 4. We're going to distribute that 3. So we get y minus 7 equals 3x minus 12. We're going to add 7 to both sides. And we end up with y equals 3x minus 5. And there you go. Now, if I were to do this on number 8, this is what it would look like. Now, 8, it gives me the reference line in standard form. So in order to find that slope, easiest way is to put the standard form into slope-intercept, which, if you guys remember, all you do is solve for y. So that's y equals negative 2/5 x plus 3. The 3 we don't really care about. What we're looking for is that negative 2/5 is a reference. Because it's parallel, we know the slopes have to be the same. So the slope of this line we're looking for is also negative 2/5. This is my point, x1, y1. So now we're going to go y minus y1, 1, equals m, that's my slope, times x minus x1, negative 10. So we have y minus 1 equals negative 2/5 x plus 10. Add 1 to both sides, and we end up with y equals negative 2/5 x plus 11. That's not right at all. I done did a boo-boo. I forgot. Oh, it's nice. To distribute the negative 2/5. So this is plus 10. I forgot my parentheses there. So that's y minus 1 equals negative 2/5 x minus 4. How we get negative 4? I go negative 2/5 times 10 over 1. That gives me negative 20 over 5, or negative 4. You can also have negative 2/5 times 10 over 1. Those 5s cancel out, so you end up with a 2 right there. And again, negative 4. So now when I add 1 to both sides, I end up with y equals negative 2/5 x minus 3. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. 9, basically the same thing. The only thing is you're dividing by a negative 4 to get the slope, so keep track of your negatives. So on this one, on number 10, our slope is negative 1/5, but it's perpendicular. So remember, perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes of each other. So if the slope of this line is negative 1/5, the slope of the line we're looking for, we go negative 1/5, find the reciprocal, that's going to be 5 over negative 1. change the sign, so negative it, and that's 5 over 1, or just 5. So this becomes y minus a negative 2 equals my slope, 5 times x minus a negative 2. Y plus 2 equals 5x plus 5 times x plus 2. Almost did it again. Y plus 2 equals 5x plus 10. Subtract 2 from both sides, and we get y equals 5x plus 8. So again, this line right here, slope of 1/9, slope of negative 1/5 would go something like that. Super accurate there, as you can see. And then there's this point over here, negative 2, negative 2, and we want to know what line goes perpendicular to that right there. So this is the slope of the line that we just found, 5x plus 8. If we did this on a graph, it would probably be prettier. Again, so I'm going to skip 11, and I'm going to show you number 12. So number 12 is harder than 11, so if you can do number 12, you can go back and do number 11. So again, they give us a reference here that we need to, that's in standard form. So we need to put this puppy in slope-intercept. And the reason is that all we're told is that the line goes through this point and it's perpendicular to this line. Well, perpendicular means that the slopes are opposite reciprocals. So we first need to find the slope of this line, 1/4, to find the slope of the perpendicular line, negative 4. 1/4, we take it, we flip it over, 4 over 1, we change the sign, negative 4 over 1, or just negative 4. So this is my point, x1, y1. This becomes y minus a negative 5 equals slope. We just figured out as negative 4 times x minus 2. So that's y plus 5 equals negative 4 times x minus 2. We're going to distribute that negative 4. And then we're going to subtract 5. And so we get y equals negative 4x plus 3. And that's it. Okay, so 13 and 14. 13 and 14 are hard. But I kind of want to see what you guys can do with it. I will give you this. So here we have negative 5, 9 right here, over 7 up 5. Let's call it here. So this right here is my line segment CD. Line T is the perpendicular bisector, which means it goes through at the halfway point at 90 degrees. So what we need to do is we're saying it's perpendicular to this through the midpoint. So that's my little hint. That's not just a little hint, it's a huge hint. But I want to see what you guys can do with it. So hopefully this was okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm going to go throw this up on YouTube and see what happens. Have a wonderful evening. Is it really only 10:50? Yeah, hey, that's not too shabby. It's early for when I normally post. But anyway, have a good night, y'all. I will see you bright and early in the morning.